Please don't tell me we're gonna have to enter this castle as well. It's a little difficult to not fall for a trick when you charge ahead all the time. Anyway, it seems that Yukimura's father isn't going to get any respect at all at the Sanada Castle. Not that I was expecting much, but still. Right. Time to see how the battle for Ueda Castle would go if it was the Uesugi, not the Tokugawa, that attacked it. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised that Kenshin's campaign tossed away any historical truth after the first mission. After all, both Kenshin and Shingen died of old age before some of the most impactful events of the war. All their talent at leading armies meant little, because they were born just one generation too late to be the major players they could have been in the last several decades of the Sengoku period. Well, for one thing, he probably isn't hoping to beat you, just to stall you for longer. Secondly, he's not a faithless, nameless grunt, so he has more of a right to stand against you than most of the enemies on this battlefield. And thirdly, when you go personally charging into battle ahead of your own army, you don't have much of a right to complain about the quality of foes you face. Yeah, I've already gotten tired of making fun of that bit of repeating dialogue. Apparently my emulator just cringed at the fact that the man we just beat appeared in a very different part of the same map near instantly. Oh, I disagree, my lord. That isn't good in any definition of the phrase. It's just a very cheap trick to make things a little more annoying for us. And just why the hell is our given objective to avoid fighting Yukimura when we can be absolutely sure our allies won't stand a chance against him? That's like saying, let your army be completely destroyed. Not that the game, especially in these last two missions, has done a good job convincing me we need to keep the rest of our army in a good shape. I can't tell if that's a purposeful thing, to make the player feel like more of a badass, or a mistake in making it harder to believe we're fighting alongside an army. And this time, stay down for the rest of the mission. Was the previous objective mistranslated, or was it supposed to make it seem like an almost bad idea to fight against Yukimura there? Oh, bloody hell. There's a third Yukimura, and we also have to deal with babysitting our army from the rest of the enemy. I'm less worried that we won't be able to fight them, and more annoyed that the enemy's attempt to gain control of the battle feels like they're just throwing themselves into our sword and hoping we get tired of killing them. After all of the missions we've gone through, why don't you know that us being surrounded is just another day on the job? And that's just talking about this campaign alone, much less the rest. And we still aren't getting a cutscene for Yukimura's defeat, which gives me the impression he's not done getting his ass kicked by us in this mission. I'm sorry, but I fail to see how beating the same guy over and over again in the same damn sitting is supposed to be fun. At least we're fighting against a different Sanada. That's gotta be worth something. Sure, it's a short one-sided fight, but still, I'll take what I can get. And now for the last officer trying to go for our main camp. Apparently, we just failed an objective because we couldn't be in 3 places at once. I'm sorry, but your commanding officer is not in the camp. Why would losing that camp mean we lose the battle as a whole? Are you kidding me? The defining trait of Kenshin in this game is his rivalry with Shingen. Yet this campaign doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot to make the pair feel like legitimate rivals. Kenshin is portrayed as a one-track-minded brute, and Shingen is a manipulative bastard who doesn't seem to really care too much about Kenshin. Now, maybe I'm just not looking at this campaign the way I possibly should. All I can say is that these 2 old warlords don't really feel like good rivals. At least in comparison to what we saw in the Yukimura and Hanzo campaigns. There, we saw that Yukimura had a damn good reason to want to fight against the Tokugawa clan, and he put everything he had into that goal. I've got no real sense of any stakes or any personal reason why these 2 are at odds against each other than some of the text we read for the mission. The way the battles have been going so far in the campaign feels less like a rivalry and more like Kenshin is an obsessed lover, and Shingen just doesn't want to bother with him if he can help it. Excuse me for not giving a damn that Shingen has left the battlefield. We've been too busy crushing the enemy in the field. It might have felt like an actual failure if it wasn't for the fact that it's pretty obvious we will be facing the Takeda even more after this mission anyway. Well, it certainly looks like you're going to be far behind, as usual. In fact, it looks like the only thing you guys are good at is dying, and we're going to have to pick up your slack. Again! This would be easier to take if I had some sense that Kenshin tries to actually command his troops instead of charging into the thick of it mindlessly. Even Yukimura, the guy who's supposed to come off as a hothead, managed to feel like a better commander than Kenshin has so far. Just how much of this game is gonna make me keep comparing each and every campaign to the first 2 we went through unfavorably? Definitely appreciate the fact that the translators gave each character their own unique line for taking down an officer, rather than just a straight-up translation, which would be everyone essentially saying the same thing over and over again. Sure, it's still pretty monotonous, but the effort to give some variety to the dialogue is appreciated. It's just a shame that I couldn't get behind the American voice actors in the game, and prefer the emotion that the Japanese voice actors bring to the table. Well, that makes one of us, Kenshin. Smacking these 2 around yet again in the exact same mission isn't my idea of fun. It just feels like more padding to me. I'm sorry, why am I supposed to feel intimidated by archers in a game that mostly focuses on melee action? And finally, Yukimura calls it a day. Hopefully Kunoichi's only got one more fight left in her for this mission as well. I doubt I'll be able to reach the camp before her, but it's worth a try. And who knows, maybe the rest of our army will be able to fight their way into the castle by the time we finish with her. How in the hell can you possibly be struggling outside the castle when you outnumber the enemy out there and they don't have any officers in that spot? I swear our allies couldn't fight their way out of a school yet. Again, I'm not asking them to win the battle for us. I'm just asking that they be able to somewhat fight evenly with the average enemies without pretty much crying for help every time they run into even a small squad of nameless grunts. Ah, there she is. Hand over, ma'am. Time for you to get another spanking from an oddly designed sword. Seriously, I can't think of any country in the world where a sword would have that many bumps on it, and it would be used in a combat situation. It's more like something a noble would put over a fireplace, really. Oh, I agree. Especially since I saw you and Yukimura way too many times in this mission alone. Anyway, time to run all the way back to the castle again and do what we can to soften the enemy for our troops. The maps in this game aren't painfully large, but still, this is a situation where we absolutely need a horse to get from one place to another within a reasonable amount of time. And I distinctly remember that maps in the sequel to this game. Yeah, I really don't like the idea of running on foot in that one. But I probably shouldn't talk too much about Samurai Warriors 2 when we're still going through Samurai Warriors 1. Kind of surprised that the enemy officer in the south hasn't made a move to try crushing our advancing army. Oh, I wish it did feel like some amazing amount of skill on our part, but no, we've just been overpowering everyone in our path. Sure, that's kind of the thing in this genre of game. Still, hard not to feel annoyed by it when someone compliments our skill, when we actually haven't done much that feels skillful. Most of what we've been doing to win are things that you don't really think about. Deciding where to fight, who to fight there, and if we happen to be lucky enough to get some healing items if we take some pain there. It's not as easy as it looks, but it's, in my experience, you're still relying more on the passive parts of your brain than too much active decision-making and quick reflexes. There's no real reason not to deal with this guy before going for Masayuki. Sure, our biggest problem has been enemies popping up out of nowhere, and Masakage didn't seem all that inclined to move, but we came here to wage war, and I'd rather be as thorough as possible. Sure, we're not slaughtering absolutely every man we've run into, but we're still doing whatever we can to absolutely crush the enemy in every battle. At the very least, our experience points appreciate that. Yeah, great job protecting your castle, boys. Not even one man tried to take a swing at us while we casually jogged past them. Yeah, you said that in the same battle already. Getting surrounded is a good thing when we're this overpowered. Besides, the amount of fighting alongside Kenshin you've already done so far, you should know this isn't anything to be worried about. Though I do wish this campaign did more to show that Kenshin has a rather solid grasp on tactics. Oh, god damn it, we are gonna have to fight in the castle.